On insulin, raise your hand, please. I'm sure you will. I'm sure. Oh, darling, I'd like to raise my hand. I'm on insulin. Would anybody? Oh, he actually raised his hand. I don't think you're not on insulin. Huh? Oh, he's pointing to his friend. Oh, I'm sure your friend is very happy. Not everybody wants to know it. He goes, no, he is. He's my friend. He is. And they go, oh, good. Are you on insulin? So I got the price down to almost nothing from impossible numbers. And I did it 3 years before Biden came in through this crazy rigged election system that we have, a horrible system. But I did it 3 years, and now I see ads on television that he dropped the price of insulin. You see that? That was a Trump deal. And a couple of people that know it, they said, you know, he didn't drop the price, I dropped the price. But we did many other things. We created a Space Force. We were being killed. And that's going to turn out to be maybe our most important in a certain way. But we didn't have Space Force. We were way back in space and in defense. And I created Space Force. First time in 79 years since Air Force that a new branch was created. And we created it. And now it's taking over. It's done so well. We put a phenomenal general in charge. He's done an incredible job. And taken over space. We're so far advanced now over China and over Russia, the two primary competitors. And nobody can even believe how successful it is. But we did that. So many different things we've done. But to me, I'm just most proud about the economy was great. The other thing is, and we don't have it today because nobody wanted to put up a big screen that's bigger than this house. You know, when we do the rallies, we have these massive. But I said, I don't think John wants a screen taking over his entire backyard. These things they're big and they're expensive, but it's a map. We show things there, including videos. But this is a map, and it shows that in my last week in office, illegal immigration was at the lowest point ever in recorded history. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then it shows that in 3.5 years, it's like a rocket ship. So it goes here, it starts here, goes down, then the last week, all he had to do is leave those people, leave those concepts, things called remain in Mexico. Does that make sense? You know, it's not too complicated. Remain, Robert, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He has one of the great hotels in this area. Remain in Mexico. You don't accept people in your hotel, though, right, Robert? Please, Robert, I don't want to hear. That would be... No, they have taken some of the best rooms in the country for illegal immigrants to stay in these rooms in luxury hotels. Because owners are willing to do it because they increase their bottom line. I don't think they increase. I think that it's terrible that it's done. It's terrible that they're allowed to do it. Think of it. Our vets aren't taken care of. But people coming in illegally, totally illegally, crossing the border, sometimes fighting to get in, and we put them up in some of the best hotels in our country. We give them cell phones. We give them medical. We give them education. We put people that don't speak a word of English in seats occupied by our students who no longer can go to that school. And they sit there, and honestly, and I'm not knocking them, but what a system. They're sitting there, they have no idea what the teachers say because they don't speak the language. But they've taken up the students that were there last year, they've taken up space. And you have one of the worst governors in the country. You have one of the worst governors. His name is Gavin Newsom. And I watched him on the great Sean Hannity. He was debating, and they had a little debate. You remember that, right? And he was debating Ron DeSantis about Florida versus California and all. It was very interesting. But he said how great everything is. How great. All he talked about, great. And I said, this guy's a con artist. It's the exact opposite. And I don't know what's happening with Biden. I watched yesterday. It looked like he was having some serious problems. An embarrassment, a very big embarrassment. So I don't know what's happening. I assume he's running. I assume he's going to be the nominee. I assume he's not giving up. They say he's not. They say it's very late. I don't know why it's very late, but they say it's very late. But I hope he's the nominee because he's got to justify how he's destroyed our country. He's destroying our country in so many ways, including the fact that we could very well end up in World War III because he's talking about nuclear weapons, and so is Putin. And Putin has an equal number of weapons to us. We're the first two by far, and China's way behind, but catching up fast. China's got a big move on. China has a much smaller number right now, but they're moving faster. We know China, and over the next couple of years, they'll be right up there with us. But essentially, you have the three. And then you have other countries. And Iran wants to have a nuclear weapon. Now, when I ran things, Iran was broke. Iran was no problem. I sanctioned Iran. Nobody was able to buy from Iran. If you bought from Iran, you couldn't do business with the United States. They were broke. A Democrat congressman was on a show called Deface the Nation on CBS. Did you ever hear it? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Deface the Nation. Donald Trump on Deface the Nation. It is defacing the nation. These shows are the worst. They're the worst because they're untruthful. But he was on, he said, whether you like Trump or not, Iran was broke during his time. And they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for the 28 pilots of destruction that you have. The pilots of destruction, they are groups that receive tremendous amounts of money for years from Iran. Iran had no money to give them, none. No money to give them. And we had no terror. Think of it. I wanted to say it so badly, but I didn't want to say it when I'm president. I wanted to say, we've never had a terrorist attack. We were safe. We were a safe country. Everybody respected us.